Have you ever been in an elevator staring at the floor numbers and just wondered what is actually going on here? We use these things every single day, but they are honestly one of the most misunderstood pieces of engineering out there. Because this simple box, it's so much more than just a convenience.
And yeah, the answer in that is a resounding yes. I mean, think about it. Without this machine, our skylines, our cities, the way we live and work, it would all look completely different. Elevators didn't just help build skyscrapers, they literally made them possible.
Now, the idea itself is ancient, goes all the way back to Archimedes. But for centuries, these things were powered by hand, and frankly, they were terrifyingly dangerous. But then, in 1853, everything changed. A guy named Elisha Otis comes along with a game-changing invention, the safety brake. And this one device, this was the key to getting people to actually trust them.
Can you just picture this scene? It's brilliant, and honestly, an incredibly gutsy marketing stunt. Otis gets up on his lift platform, has it hoisted high in the air, and then orders the single rope holding him to be cut with an axe. The crowd just gasps, but the platform barely moves. It just locks into place. That one single act of showmanship is why we don't think twice about stepping into an elevator today.
So, how does the modern version of this machine actually work? Well, it's not about brute force. It's actually a beautifully simple and efficient balancing act.
All right, let's build one right now in our heads. First, you've got the car you stand in, right? The cabin. A bunch of super strong steel ropes are attached to it, and they go all the way up, looping over this big, grooved pulley wheel. That wheel is called a sheave. And then, on the other end of those ropes, you've got a massive counterweight. That's it. That's the heart of a modern traction elevator.
Okay, now here is where it gets really clever. That counterweight, it's not designed to be equal to an empty car or a totally full car. It's engineered to equal the weight of the car itself, plus about 40 to 50% of its maximum passenger load. So what does that mean? It means the motor barely has to do any work. It just has to nudge the difference in weight one way or the other. It's incredibly energy efficient.
So the logical next thought is, okay, the motor just turns on, reels in the cables like a giant fishing rod, and the car goes up. A simple winch. Makes sense, right? Well, that's actually not what's happening at all.
And here it is, the secret sauce of the whole operation. The cables aren't being wound up or reeled in. They're in one continuous loop. The motor's only job is to turn that pulley at the top. It's the friction, the intense grip between the steel ropes and the special grooves in that pulley that actually moves the car. The motor turns the pulley grips the ropes, and the whole beautifully balanced system of car and counterweight just moves up and down.
And that's exactly why it's called a traction elevator. Traction is just a fancy word for grip. Without that grip, without that friction, the motor would just spin the pulley and nothing would happen. The car would just sit there. It's this elegant bit of physics that's lifting millions of us every single day.
Okay, but that brings us to the number one fear everyone has, right? What if that grip fails? Or even worse, what if those cables snap?
Don't worry, you can relax. First off, there's not just one cable. There are a whole bunch of them. And any single one is strong enough to hold a fully loaded car all by itself. But let's say the impossible happens, and they all fail, there's a backup. A device called a governor is always watching the elevator's speed. If it senses the car is moving too fast, like falling, it trips and instantly deploys these massive, powerful brakes that clamp down hard on the guide rails. The car comes to a jarring stop for sure, but a safe one. That is the legacy of Elisha Otis, still at work today.
But it's not just about safety and raw power anymore. Modern elevators are also incredibly intelligent. They have a brain. Yeah, these things are running on some pretty complex algorithms. You've probably seen destination control systems in big office buildings, where you enter your floor before you even get in an elevator. The system's brain then groups you with other people going to nearby floors and assigns you all to the same car. It sounds simple, but this little change can slash your wait time in half. Some even learn traffic patterns, so they know to have more cars ready on the ground floor during the morning rush.
And of course, humans are always pushing the limits of speed. The elevators in the Burj Khalifa are no joke, hitting about 22 miles per hour. But the former champ, Taipei 101, reached a blistering 38 miles an hour. That is so fast that they actually had to pressurize the cabin like an airplane to keep people's ears from popping on the way up.
So, with all this tech packed in, what kind of impact do elevators really have? Well, get a load of this number. 18 billion. That's how many elevator journeys happen every single day around the world. And all those billions of trips are unbelievably safe. Remember all those safety systems we just talked about? Well, they work.
Statistically, an elevator is 20 times safer than the escalator you might take to get to it. Kind of wild, right?
And here are a few more fun facts for you. That cheesy elevator music, it was originally created to calm the nerves of early passengers who were scared to ride. In places like Japan, some elevators are even designed as earthquake survival pods with emergency supplies inside. And I hate to be the one to tell you this, but that door close button you're always jamming, in most modern elevators, it's a total placebo. It doesn't do anything.
So the next time you step inside and press that button, just remember what's happening. You're not just in a moving box. You're inside a fortress of safety, a surprisingly smart machine, and this finely tuned balancing act that relies on the simple physics of friction.
You are literally riding inside the unsung hero that allowed our cities to grow up towards the sky. It's a true marvel of engineering hiding in plain sight, and it really makes you wonder, what other secret technology is quietly powering our world that we never even think about?